Hello everyone, you're on the Player Review channel. In this video, you'll find out whether Sawa is as good as she was last year or not, where she's best used, and whether it's worth completing her SBC or if you can go with someone cheaper. For that reason, we'll also discuss some alternative options for the Japanese player. It's going to be dynamic and informative, so stay tuned. So, the 2011 World Champion comes with an SBC price tag of around 1.1 million coins. And as you can see, that didn't stop us. Sawa features a lean body type, stands at 165 centimeters, and boasts 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot. For chemistry styles, we recommend Shadow or Anchor. As another option, you can use Hunter, but her shooting is already fine. Again, in the playstyles, we notice low driven shot, but the most important aspect is the range of top-tier passing traits. Unfortunately, she has no defensive traits. In terms of roles, we highlight box-to-box ++ for CM and Playmaker ++ for both CM and Cam. Let's start with the fact that the Japanese player accelerates excellently off the ball over short distances due to explosive acceleration and quick step. This helps her change direction quickly and read opponents more easily. Despite her short height and lean body type, she bites into opponents quite well and often wins the ball back. She also performs decently against larger players, at least under manual control when you manually press for a tackle, etc. Speaking of tackles, here you do feel the absence of anticipate, so such ricochets do happen. However, sometimes just running into the opponent is enough for another tackle, with the ball staying with the Japanese player. So overall, the card feels like it has silver tier anticipate. This also applies to interceptions, which she officially lacks, but in gameplay, it feels like the opposite. For example, take a look at this sharp lunge for the ball. In fact, this is due to high reactions and especially high composure. Thanks to this combo, she reacts incredibly quickly to button presses. Just look at the speed of this pass while falling under pressure. As mentioned, high speed and quick step allow her to close off zones faster, so interceptions are frequent. Sawa really actively moves toward the ball, which helps win aerial duels in certain situations. For instance, check out this jump animation. Golden Press Proven allows her to handle difficult balls more easily under back pressure and in other cases. In general, Press Proven is extremely useful in attack when you need to shield the ball from a larger opponent. And in Sawa's case, all opponents are larger. Top-tier ball control and high composure are often evident during collisions. For example, in this moment with Blen, who should have easily knocked her over. But let's take another look at this realism. Moving on, here she tackles none other than Vieira. As you can see, Sawa wasn't phased at all. Now let's add great R1 control and sharpness on the left stick. Of course, Sawa gets knocked over more often than not, but her agility allows her to completely avoid contact, dribbling past multiple opponents at once. Naturally, such agility is extremely useful after a tackle or interception, letting her quickly avoid a counter tackle. This card is one of the most agile in the game, so if you love truly mobile players, check out the Japanese player. Sawa is an extremely agile and fast playmaker who fits perfectly in a 3 midfield setup or any formation with cams. Thanks to Relentless, you can regularly send her forward in attack, and with her speed and shooting, she's solid even on Anchor, although we'd recommend Shadow. Regarding speed, let's take a look at this acceleration with the ball. Overall, Sawa has a decent speed boost, which is already appealing. All this allows you to even use the Japanese player as a wide cam. For example, on the right for Trivela and more. As you can see, the speed is more than solid. Moreover, she even has crossing capabilities despite lacking the playstyle. We'll talk more about passing a bit later. For now, let's highlight the mentioned Trivela. Although not listed in the traits, it feels like a silver tier 1 in practice. It works especially well after another sharp acceleration and a shot on the run. Even from a standstill, it flies nicely. Direct shots turned out well too. Again, the key is to accelerate a bit and hit the green timing. And yes, as we remember, the card has 5-star/5-star and a silver low driven shot, inherently meta right now. However, sometimes the lack of a golden triangle shows, so the ball doesn't always sync perfectly with a runner's tempo. But we definitely can't say Sawa often has such problems. Her silver incisive pass is quite enough. What really works great is Tiki-taka. It allows you to make timed passes at any angle, which in turn lets you create combinations like this. And finally, the golden long ball, which is still effective with tall strikers who can win the duel and pass it to a teammate. It's also useful for these kinds of one-touch long balls. The main thing is to launch the forward correctly and time it right. By the way, let us know, do you still use such passes or have you already gotten used to something else? As you can see, it's still a meta feature if you have strong and fast strikers, so don't forget about it. As you know, in EAFC 25, the rewards for the Weekend League are awesome, which means that the game has become much harder to play. Our boosters will help you to get the best rewards. Write in, because the number of spots is limited, and don't forget that we also sell coins at a cheap price. All links in the description. Alright, let's wrap things up with a final verdict on the Sawa card. In short, we recommend her, even despite the hefty price tag. That said, we strongly suggest trying her on loan before committing to the full squad building challenge. After all, everyone has their own playstyle and favorite traits. Most importantly, if you enjoyed the Japanese player's card last year, this version will likely impress you too. We actually fell in love with that card a year ago, so assembling the new Sawa wasn't even a question for us. That said, some might find her too small, too weak, or not particularly imposing, if that's the right word for it. But this is one of those cards that might look underwhelming on paper due to a lack of key playstyles, yet feel totally different in-game. Of course, Sawa is far from perfect, and definitely not cheap, but she brings a lightness and fluidity that many squads lack in attack while also doing a decent job winning the ball back. In our case, she's definitely earned a spot in the starting 11. It's just a shame she didn't get the CDM position. That brings to mind Pirlo, who did have the CDM role but lacked any real defensive playstyles, and yet still held his own defensively. Funny enough, Pirlo is similar to Sawa, but she now outshines him both in playstyles and left stick control. Abeli also loses out when it comes to left stick movement, but she's just as good, if not better, as a deep playmaker, or especially a box-to-box, thanks to her gold interceptions. In fact, Abeli might even be the better value option overall, when comparing price to performance. So, if you don't have an emotional attachment to Sawa and don't mind using female players, just go with the Abeli card. But if you're a bit of a fan of the Japanese player too, then it's probably time to upgrade your old version, especially since the 92 rated evolution isn't coming anytime soon. That said, don't rush to replace Todi Aitana or especially Putellas. Still, Sawa does feel a bit more agile, even if she falls short in terms of playstyles. By the way, Fermin from Barca also has a fantastic card. He's genuinely very nimble and delivers some incredible passes. So if you've been looking for a playmaker in central midfield or at cam, go for it. And yes, Royce can also serve as an alternative to Sawa in some ways. In fact, if you're strictly after a cam, he might even be the better choice. He can't match the Japanese player's left stick, but he does come with great finesse shots and gold incisive passes. He also holds up well defensively, as we've mentioned in our video. Plus, he's a lot more affordable. That said, we plan to use both cards together. So if you've already completed Reyes but got curious about Sawa, what should you do? Exactly. Test the loan and decide from there. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll do our best to reply quickly. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on timely reviews. We're giving Sawa a 9.2 for card quality and reminding you that detailed ratings will drop tomorrow on our Twitter. For the SBC price, she gets an 8. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.